foster an harmonized system, and that's why the case management is also established to provide answers to those needs, because it also affects and weakens the child protection system, which is currently existing in the Gambia, and conversely, it also affects the rights of children.
The SOPs are anchored on the guiding principles of best interests of the child, human rights of the child, non-discrimination, and right to life, survival, and development, among others. Maxime Gamen, Program Manager responsible for protection and inclusion of children at UNICEF, expressed optimism that the purpose for developing the guiding document will be achieved.
It will provide timely and updated data that will be compiled and included in the national database. This will be a useful tool for policymakers and implementers alike in addressing issues of child protection. The case management will provide opportunity to train social workers and community members who will be better equipped to provide support to resolve and follow up the case until satisfactory completion and closure.
For Bintu H.K. Fati, Director of Children Affairs at the Ministry of Children Affairs, children are among the most vulnerable groups in the society. Hence, their protection should and must be given due attention.
I therefore stress the urgency for partnership in increasing the level of commitment to child rights and sought application of creativity in limiting the impact of child abuse and exploitation in the Gambia.
Rahi Bitey, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, thanked UNICEF and the consultant for the partnership.
I have no doubt that with your participation and contribution, we can make Gambia a country that is safe for our children to survive and develop. On behalf of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, I therefore thank UNICEF, the consultant and team for their unflinching support, both financially and technically, towards the attainment of this important milestone in the history of our country.
The objects and intents of the document are quite progressive, but its outcome will depend on the effective implementation of the document, bearing in mind the interests of children. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
And from that report by Aliou Cisse, we will take a short commercial break, but when we return, we take a look at some more local business, international, and sports news. Do stay with us.
Assalamu alaikum badingolu momo ben jibe kay bella moy kan ntelam jale ba ko yate musiciano la munti me gambe jang dukare ngali dani momo dal ni nungolu nge mura buluku senu ninko buluku senu jiome ya lon ka bo borkan amanke bolu kono jioti jiome bo borkan ye e bulo dunga koto ni safuno kaku ay senea wala mbulku senoti bar mobe na bol kilim kono kaku hani kabi albe nyon non dikan bar nga bulku senemo muta ka jamfa nyolo fanan ka bambang woto badi ngolum bale danila nyimu kulati me ya lon ko bela ko wala mu banko wala ko wala mu ngali dani fo alasi mbe sutura nyami.
Buy Parfum, the first perfume bar in Gambia. Buy Parfum, it's another way to perfume yourself in a luxurious and attractive shop called Buy Parfum. Come and find rare and natural churai flowers. And also the fragrances of the biggest popular brands, Oud Private Collection, Air Freshener, Flora, Venus, Fresh 24, and many other products. With Buy Parfum, discover the perfume bar, a new concept in the world. Personalize your scents with the perfume bar. With the perfume bar, choose the perfume that looks like you. Buy Parfum 54 Kayoraba Avenue opposite to American Embassy. You can join us on 77000225 or 529-1888. Buy Parfum Gambia. You will really love it.
Well, thanks for staying with us. You're watching QTV News, and we're broadcasting live from our studios along Kairaba Avenue. Now, the Imam Malik Islamic Institute in the Gambia held its 16th edition of Quranic Memorization Graduation Ceremony on Sunday. 13 graduates have been awarded certificates after successful memorization of the Holy Quran. Mohamed Lamin Choi reports.
These graduates, aged between 10 and 21, have got the full text of the Holy Quran in their memories. It means they can recite the 114 surahs of the Muslim Holy Scripture without reading directly from the text. The journey of memorizing the Islam's most important holy book took some of them 3 to 5 years and sometimes more. At a well-attended annual graduation ceremony, invitees include Islamic scholars, parents, teachers, and loved ones of the graduates to mark this historic milestone.
I would like to tell you thank you so much. You promised to make good use of the knowledge gained from this respectable institute. We are ready to further our education up to the university level. If we are given the opportunity, we will always remember for your hard work, wherever we are, no matter what happens.
The students will from now see a fresh page of their academic pursuits after Quranic memorization. The principal of the Imam Malik Islamic Institute uses the ceremony to remind parents that the burden is now passed on to them, to open doors of opportunities for the children to proceed to a higher stage of academic and religious venture.
But if you leave them, we say, Qur'an, to make a party, you forget, 2 months, Qur'an will go. So I will advise them, to encourage them, and leave them to pray with them in mosque, Maghrib and Isha, to hear people, to hear them, and bring them to the school. Go to school, Arabic school, English school, to continue the school is better. But leave them like this, it's not good.
Behind the success of these graduates are parents whose efforts and support have enabled the graduates to earn a deserving academic triumph. It is a joyful and happy moment for the parents whose continuous care and support for the advancement of the children's education are needed more than ever. I am so happy today because I brought my child from Spain to the Gambia to learn the Quran, and by Allah's will, he has memorized it. Additionally, he has also studied the English language while learning the Quran. Now, my plan is to send him abroad for studies in an Arabic country. The graduates were each awarded a certificate in line with their qualification of memorizing the Holy Quran. In Islam, memorizing the Holy Quran goes with a handsome reward as narrated in one of the hadiths of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who is reported to have said that the Hafizul Quran, meaning a person who has memorized the Quran, will be told on the day of judgment, recite and rise in status. Recite as he used to recite in the world, for your status will be at the last verse that you recite. Mamadou Lamin Choy, QTV News.
The UN's Food and Agricultural Organization on Monday handed over a number of items to the Departments of Forestry and Livestock Services at a presentation at the FAO's country office in Fajara. Well, as Omar P. Jallo reports, the materials will support the Department of Forestry to demarcate 19 forest parks.
In demarcating the 19 forest parks, the equipment will also allow the Forestry Department to install demarcation poles to save them from encroachment and help the Department of Livestock Services establish a cattle identification system and tagging exercise scheduled to start on the 3rd of March 2021. The donated materials include GPS units, demarcation poles, cattle tags, tablets, and a desktop PC. The assistance is part of a project funded by the UN Peacebuilding Fund through the FAO and the UNDP project titled Addressing Conflict over Land and Natural Resources in the Gambia. Handing over the materials, Penda Tommy, the project coordinator, and Mustafa Sise, FAO representation administrator, said the project aims to reduce land and natural resource-related violence through strengthening resource management and the capacity of dispute resolution systems, improve and restore citizens' confidence in the land dispute resolution systems.
We have, through the project, and the support of the United Nations Peace Building Fund, procured 3,000 cattle tags, which are a new system being implemented in the country for the Gambia livestock identification and traceability system. And these tags have unique numberings and they are barcode readable. And there are 15 applicators. And another aspect of this is the cattle passports, which are kept by the cattle herd owners to identify the livestock within their herds. Also giving support to the Department of Forestry, we have procured items such as 900 demarcation poles, which were used for the demarcation exercise of the 19 forest parks.
This is a project being implemented by FAO and the UNDP under the auspices of the United Nations Secretary General Peace Building Fund initiative. This initiative is to prevent conflicts over land and natural resources.
Receiving the donated materials, the Director of Forestry Department, Mohamed Jaite, and the representative of the Director of Livestock Services, Ibu Job, both commended FAO for the gesture and assured them that the materials will be used for the intended purposes.
It's a pleasure, for us to be here to receive this equipment. This is not the first time FAO is supporting the Department of Forestry when it comes to the equipment and then as well as capacity building of our human resource base.
These things are at least very much important in the sense that it helps animal in controlling cattle theft and rustling.
The range and diversity of implementing partners shows the cross-cutting nature of the matter being addressed. The implementing partners are the FAO, the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Agriculture, the Environment Ministry, the National Environment Agency, the Land Commission, the Alternative Dispute Resolution Secretariat, Action Aid International de Gambia, the West African Network for Peace Building, the National Livestock Owners Association, and NACUFAC. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Well, we will now take another commercial break, but still to come, we have some more local business, international, and sports news.
bu dee da ngay ut ay bunta maanaam xarañ lool ci IT ak management ndax xam nga ne jàngukaay yu bari ñu ngi fii ci biir Gambia yu mel ni Suna Institute of Science and Technology, Camsys Technology, Insight Training Center ak Sebec College yuy jàngale xam-xami technology ak management. mën ngaa gën a yokk sa xam-xam ci bunti management ak information technology bu yaatu gi booy jëfandoo yii di computer storage networking maanaam dencukaay xarale yi ak yeneen jëfandukaay yi xëj na tamit yaa ngi ut ay bunta ci wàllum fashion design wala ñaw comme yeneeni jàngukaay yi ci biir réewi Gambia SNS Institute of Creative Design ubbil na ndaw yi xarañ ci wàllum ñaw ak design bunte sàkku xam-xam bu dee ne sax amuloo kayiti jàng ci wàllum métier gi bu passé IT management fashion design ak ñaw Wakawel website bi am na ay xibaar ci wàllum mbéy mi plombi sampa ak yeneen bu dee plomba nga bu yëngu ci wàllum defar lépp lu jëm ci dëkkuwaay wala nga doon sampakat bu yëngu ci wàllum construction te bëgg am xam-xami planning ak tabax jàngukaay yi ci réew mi yu mel ni Insight Training Center mën nañ laa dimbale nga yokk sa xam-xam bu ëllëgee bunte yi jublu ci wàllum agriculture tamit The Gambia College mën nañ laa jàngal xam-xam ci wàllum métier gi wakawel.info/Gambia tamit amal na leen ay bunte yu wóor pour ñi xarañ te yëngu ci métier catering bokkal ci ñi njëriñoo xam-xam jóge ko Mary Bennett Skills Training Center ngir mun a yokk seeni mën-mën te mun a wuyoo fépp fuñ leen woo pour ñam ak naan yu sell moo xam ci xew yi la dallukaay yi ak yeneen boo bëggee yokk sa jàng ak i tegtal jàngukaay yi dañ solool seen jàngkat yi wàcce ba pare tax na dinañ la won anam yooyu amee liggéey ak i waajal interview boo mootalee sa jàng yow mi ut ay bunte yu wóor bu ñëwee ci wàllum tukki booy waajal tukki wakawel.info/Gambia dina la jox ay xibaar yu wóor yi lay teg ci yoon yu wér boo duggee wakawel.info/Gambia di nga am ay xibaar yu leer te wóor ci nooy utee passeport kayit yi nga soxla booy ut visa ci travel health insurance njëgi tukki ba ci hôtel bi ngay dal mbaa bank statement ak yeneen. wakawell.info/Gambia dinañ la jox ay xibaar yu leer ci wàllum fayam visa dëkk bi nga war a dem ak ñaata la boo naree fay. dinañ la jox tamit ay téléphone number website ak adresse. mbaa bokkoo ci nit ñi yaakaar ne bu dul jaaree yooni gannaaw duñ fi mun a tekkee kon nag jaaral ci wakawell.info/Gambia ngir am ay xibaar yu wóor ci anam yi nga nar a jaaree boo buggee tukki bitim réew soxla jàng liggéey ak mbiri jula fii ci biir réew mi Gambia.
Welcome back, and now for some business news. A top Gambian chef, Sekou Bojang, has won the prestigious Best of Gastronomy Award from Paris for the second year running. Jennifer Sonko visited him at his restaurant where he prepares delicious meals for Gambians.
Chef Bojang started his journey as a chef while working as a receptionist at a hotel in England. At some point, the breakfast chef took ill suddenly and Sekou volunteered to prepare breakfast for the guests. Since then, he has stayed in the kitchen. The hotel was obviously pleased with his cuisine. He got a scholarship from them, which has led to today where he is an executive chef. Chef Bojang has bagged several awards, including Master Chef in Reading in UK, the Hikers competition in Germany, Olympics in South Africa. Chef Bojang was one time a cook for the royals in the United Kingdom. He excitedly informed us that Queen Elizabeth loves Yassa. Chef Bojang's most recent award is the Best of Gastronomy from Paris. Gastronomy is the study of the relationship between food and culture, the art of preparing and serving rich or delicate and appetizing food, the cooking styles of particular regions, and the science of good eating.
All my awards are basically, I always like to be standing out in whatever I do. And I like, of course, to see something and recreate and innovate out of it and become better. So every single competition I've won is mostly based on creativity, presentation, and timekeeping. And also, I'm very much cost-minded when it comes to creating a dish. So throwing things I don't like, and of course, whatever I have, I make the best out of it, and then always the presentation talks too much.
Despite having worked in 10 countries across the world, he still felt he hadn't achieved enough without giving back to his country, especially in supporting young chefs.
So for the young ones, I think the best thing they could do is, whatever you do, you need to connect with your passion, connect with your heart, and make sure you do to the best. And do not expect anybody to be your own role model. Yes, we get inspired, but we also love what we call, I'm inspiring you, but you need to inspire me back by having to do the best for me to sit back and say, wow, I did show this person this and that. So as a youngster, I mean, you've been inspired by somebody. Always have this in you that you also want to inspire somebody. So once we do this, then at least everyone is inspired and more will come out of it.
Chef Bojang is looking forward to starting his own academy where he can train young chefs to become great. He is the current president of the Gambia Chefs Association, where the plight of chefs are addressed, along with highlighting all the activities they do. Best of Gastronomy itself as a worldwide gastronomy brotherhood for chefs and gourmets. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
Well, quite inspiring. Congratulations, Chef Bojang. And now we take a look at some international news. The president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, has become the world's first recipient of the coronavirus vaccine from COVAX, a scheme to procure and distribute inoculations for poorer countries. A wider COVAX program will begin in the country on Tuesday.
Ghana and its West African neighbor Ivory Coast on Monday became the world's first states to administer vaccine from COVAX. Last week, the country received 600,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine in Accra as part of efforts for equitable global access to jabs. The Ghanaian president said that by being the first to have it, he is setting an example to show this vaccine is safe so that everybody in Ghana can feel comfortable about taking it. The 76-year-old president made these remarks before receiving a shot of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines during a live broadcast. He went on to urge people to get inoculated and not to believe conspiracy theories casting doubt on the program. The shipments also represent the beginning of what should be the largest vaccine procurement and supply operation in history. The COVAX facility plans to deliver close to 2 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines this year, an unprecedented global effort to make sure all citizens have access to vaccines. UNICEF's representative in Ghana, Anne-Claire Douve, and the WHO representative to Ghana, Dr. Francis Casolo, both described the development as a significant occasion, as the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccines into Ghana is critical in bringing the pandemic to an end. They went on to say the only way out of this crisis is to ensure that vaccinations are available for all. The two officials thanked all partners that are supporting the COVAX facility to deliver safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines to all countries quickly and fairly. With the country recording more than 84,000 COVID-19 cases and 607 deaths since the start of the pandemic, the president said all the current restrictions to curb the spread of the virus were to remain in place despite the vaccine rollout in Ghana. After a year of disruption due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it appears the path to recovery for the people of Ghana has finally begun. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
And from that report, we will now take a look at some sports news in just a moment. And here to bring us the latest in the world of sports is my colleague, Mamoudou Gajaga.
Thank you, Nzumane. So, Nyasi, well, if you're a fan of basketball, especially Gambian basketball, I have some good news for you because the league is set to kickstart on Saturday, the 6th. And the Gambia Basketball Federation, under the leadership of Jiran Senghor, have talked about this because the league hasn't been played for over 2 years. But finally, it appears to be coming. And this was a revelation that was made at the Pamodu Sarr Memorial Competition, which was played on Sunday between YMCA and Serekunda East. And it was an exciting game, but more in this. It was a competitive game. Serekunda East appeared to have made a comeback in the third quarter and were leading at some point, but a strong YMCA fought back to take the crown in the dying minutes, winning 71-68. Abdullah Warner was one of the most outstanding players in the final.
Yeah, first of all, I'm not gonna say like for our sports in Gambia here is a little bit dull because of like at least we have no proper league right now. This is a Pamodu Sarr tournament. We're just trying, you know, everybody's turning out, it's good, and we really appreciate it. But like at least when we have a league, it's that time we'll see like the players, we can do a squad and everything for, you know, for us players to know to go to the next level.
As the new season is set to begin on Saturday, tournament most valuable player Cherno Ba told QTV that Gambia has what it takes to compete at regional and continental levels.
I wish that we Gambia should step up in basketball to compete in Africa and international level. But I think there is something missing and we really have to work together to bring the spirit of basketball to compete in international level, especially to focus on the youths because we've been playing for a long time now, but we've not seen no improvement. So I want the youths to have an opportunity to explore their talents, play international, compete with these international teams because we can compete with Senegal, with any other African team. I believe in that.
Jiran Senghor, Gambia Basketball Association president, says if everything goes well, a new league season will kick off on Saturday for the first time in 2 years.
It's coincidental that you're talking about the league because we're about to start on the 6th. If we don't have any restrictions from the COVID, then we'll definitely start the league on the 6th. With regards to preparation, we just got done a training for the referees. We're trying to partner with the Senegalese Basketball Federation to send us some coaches so that we'll have a training as well for the coaches. The game of basketball is not just about pushing the ball. It's about being able to capacitize everybody who's involved in it, with the officials, the coaches, and the players themselves.
The late Pamodu Sarr was a basketball player. He was the son of Dauda Sarr and Aji Amimbai of Kotu East. Pamodu was a student and first head boy at Methodist Senior Secondary School before he left for the United States to pursue his education at the Navarro College in Texas. He died in 2004 in a car accident shortly after a basketball game when the team was traveling back home. Since then, a memorial tournament has been organized in his memory. Mariama Sarr, sister of the late Pamodu Sarr, says she feels honored knowing that there are people who still remember her brother.
Really grateful. This is not the first time this is held. It has been going on, and his friends has been there. They've been really supportive. They've been really showing that Pamodu is still lingering in their hearts. So we are really happy. We are really grateful to be here. We say a big thank you to everyone who has participated.
Gambia missed out on the recent Afro Basket qualifiers scheduled for Rwanda in August, as well as several other competitions due to lack of proper league and funding. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News. And how about using sports to sensitize people when it comes to irregular migration? Well, that is exactly what has happened in Brikama as the Wanderers Trophy Cup was organized, and it took 2 days to organize the sensitization ceremony. And more with this report. Let's hear from Omar Pijalo.
Over 90% of people venturing into irregular migration in the Gambia are youths, of which many are into sporting activities. It is therefore important and worthwhile for these youths to get the right information to take informed decisions about their migratory journeys by highlighting the realities of irregular migration through dialogue and engaging members of football academies in a debate. 60 participants, including officials and players of the Wanderers SC Academy, took part in what organizers describe as a creative way of addressing irregular migration along dangerous routes and promote safe migration through sport in partnership with officials from the IOM. At the event, Jeremane from the International Organization for Migration Gambia said the use of sport to raise awareness and share experience on irregular migration and emphasis on the dangers of the journey and the opportunities in the Gambia is an innovative idea. Mane added that the idea is not to tell the participants they should not migrate, but to provide balanced information and express hope that this will be another milestone in educating people.
At IOM, our mandate and principle is to actually promote humane and orderly migration. We believe migration is a fundamental human right, and every individual has the right to migrate, either to return to his country of destination or other country. But we have all seen the issue of the phenomenon in terms of young people, a majority of Gambians that migrate through the irregular migration route. We think it's important to actually engage young people, at this, most especially at this tender age, to provide them with the right information.
The Secretary General of the Wanderers SC Football Academy, Lamarana Jallo, thanked IOM for the initiative and partnering with his academy. Jallo said this will help members of the academy and their communities better understand the drivers leading youth to migrate irregularly.
We are also trying to inform them about the opportunities that are available in this country, ranging from education, if they can venture into skills. Sport is one of them. That's why we said promoting safe migration through sports. Today, these are youngsters. We believe they have talents. And if they are able to utilize these talents to become professionals, that migration they are yearning for becomes very easy.
Fatmata Kijera and Musa Sane, both participants, thanked the IOM for partnering with their academy and called on youths to venture into sports, adding that youths can succeed in the Gambia without going to Europe. With a population of just over 2 million people, the Gambia is one of Africa's smallest countries. Despite its size, migration remains a big challenge for the government as more people, especially among the youth, continue to seek socio-economic advancement and undertaking irregular migration aiming to reach Europe. Over 35,000 Gambians arrived in Europe by irregular means between 2014 and 2018, with many others in Africa along the central Mediterranean route opting for voluntary return. However, migration plays a significant role in the Gambian society, as overseas remittances of an estimated 118,000 Gambians living abroad accounts for over 20% of the country's GDP, while rural to urban migration has led to increased urbanization. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
That's all in tonight's sports. I hope you do enjoy it. Back to you, Eso.
Well, many thanks, my colleague Mamudu Gachake. They are giving us a rundown of very exciting sporting stories. I'm afraid that's all about it, but before we take a leave of you, here's a recap from main headlines. Alaji Ba Musa Trawale, the doyen of Gambian journalism, has died at the age of 90. Another survivor of the 2005 mass killing of West African migrants in the Gambia has related his tale of capture, torture and eventual release. Child protection actors on Tuesday gathered to validate a newly developed standard operating procedure for vulnerable children. In business news, a Gambian chef who cooked for the British royal family says the Queen loves Yassa, and the man in question, Sekou Bojang, has scooped the prestigious Gastronomy Award for the second year in succession. In international news, Ghana's president becomes the first person in the world to get the COVAX vaccine jab, and he did it live on TV. In sports news, good news for Gambia's basketball as the league prepares to tip off soon. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of the news. On behalf of the entire production team, thanks for watching.